Welcome. I frequently get asked how ImagePrint handles architectural and engineering documents. And the answer to that is quite well. We've actually put some features in place to handle some of the more challenging aspects in dealing with these types of documents. Let's take a look. I'm going to assume you're familiar with the basics and move right to the heart of things. My printer is selected as the Canon TX3000, and I have a page size of 36 by 55 selected. Now you're going to ask, why don't you have an auto roll page? I'll get to that in a little bit, so sit tight with that one. I'm set to non-borderless, and we can see the non-printable margins around the page. Why not borderless? We could set a borderless page size, but for right now, it's easier to show some of these features with borders. And remember, the most important thing with printing technical documents is to not take them out of scale. Borderless modes expand the page and can also slightly expand the image, therefore changing the aspect ratio. It's really important that we keep the scale of the image while making them fit on the page. Here's how we do that when these images are frequently just a little too wide for the page due to how they were saved, or if they were scanned and have some extra white borders on them. We don't want to rotate them to fit the page because that would use up a lot more paper. Let's get started. Here's my first image. It's too wide for the page, but if we look at the left margin, we can see there's an extra large white area. If I was doing a lot of these documents from the same source, they most likely would all have that extra wide margin. So over in our layout settings window, we have some special features to deal with that. Down at the bottom, you can see the feature crop to page. I'm going to turn it on and select left. This will automatically trim the white area on the left side of each document to fit it perfectly on the page. I'm going to remove the image and bring it in again, and we can see that now the white area was cropped away and it fits perfectly, and the scale of the image was unchanged. Let's take a look at a multi-page document, but first I want to set autoflow to on. This will allow the software to automatically add pages as needed. When I double-click the document, it will open in a PDF viewer. This allows me to see all of the pages as thumbnails, and if I want to see a page in more detail, I can drag it to the high-res panel and pan and zoom the document. It's very fast. Our PDF engine is both multi-threaded and multi-cored. Notice, on these documents, the white space is on the right side. So I'm going to select right for the crop to page and load all the pages. Let's look at a couple of things. First, if the images were too big to fit across the page, normally they would have been rotated to fit down the page. But in my case, I've set my layout to as is. This means to force the images to be laid out in the orientation that they were saved. I always set it this way for technical documents unless there's a reason why I want them to auto-rotate. Second, there's a lot of empty white space on the page. Don't worry about that. It's not going to print, and it's not going to feed that paper out. The paper saving features in the driver are set, so there'll be no extra paper after the image is done printing. This is why we don't do an endless roll setting. It's much easier to reprint when each page is a separate job. If I've stacked all these on an endless page, then I have to create a new layout anytime I want to reprint a single document. What if I want multiple images per page? Okay, we can do that. I will have to auto-crop a different way when auto-nesting. But here's how to do it. I'll turn on crop and zoom and set a max width. In this case, I need to account for the non-printable area, so my max width will be 35.75. Let's drop this document back on the page, and now it will auto-nest and fit as many as it can within the page length you've set. If you want more, just set a longer page size. How about this? You need to put these in a binder and you need a 2-inch binding gap. No problem. Let's set rotate to fit this time and go over to the page origin point and set the X origin to 2 inches. And then reshuffle, and there you go. It moved each page over 2 inches and re-nested them. It's as easy as that. This shows you some of the power of image print when working with technical documents. And with image print red, you also have the ability to even send prints to your copiers and smaller printers. The color accuracy of image print is bar none the best in the business. So your color renderings are going to be accurate without wasting time and money figuring out why they're not printing correctly.